Okay, this is the third time, so we're going to try this again.
Third time's a
Riverside,
charm.
Riverside software sucks, and I'm saying that on our recording. Welcome to episode 50 of the
Woo!
of, of the Shelter Cats podcast, and the holiday episode.
That's right.
And we have a
Technically now
special.
150,
It's
episode 150.
yeah.
um, and Michelle, just move your head a little bit
Oh,
closer
sorry.
to perfect. Okay, so I'm Dan the Cat Man, and we have Michelle the Meow Maven, and her very good friend Melissa. We have to give you a name, Melissa. What do you want to be?
Oh gosh. Usually it has something to do with part of, me being Polish. Melski, I guess.
But should be cat related.
Cat related.
Something cat.
What did
Cat.
you? What was that word? Molsky?
Melski.
What is that?
Because I'm part Polish, so it's kind of just been a thing.
Can it be
Melski.
Meow Molsky? Molsky?
There you go, Meow Melski. There,
yeah.
see?
I like
See?
that, Dan.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, welcome. You're part of the team now.
Thank
You
you.
have to have you have to have a bad cheesy name like we do.
Of course.
So this is the holiday episode because we're recording this on Sunday, December 15th.
Yep.
So we have 10 days to go until Christmas and my 51st
What else is
birthday.
on the 25th? What is that?
My-
What is that,
my-
Dan?
Do I have to say it again? My 51st birthday.
Yay. Oh.
Yeah. So he's part of the birthmas crowd.
Nice. The birth miss.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
5 days behind you, celebrating my 52nd.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
But that's better. It's
Is
between
it?
Christmas and New Year's, so it's not
Okay.
your day is dedicated to your birthday. My day's like, oh yeah, should we have gotten you a cake?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you,
You know,
do you feel gypped at all,
I grew up Jewish, so I got Hanukkah, Christmas, and birthday presents all at once.
Yeah.
So I got gypped, and growing up Jewish, half my friends were busy.
Sorry,
Well, I was
Dan.
always in a diner, or I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I was always in a diner or a Chinese restaurant on my birthday.
That's funny.
You know, having like fried rice with a candle on it or something like that. Not
He
that
wasn't in the Christmas movie.
not that I know, totally. Not that I'm complaining, not that I'm bitter. But anyway, so we have to talk about cats because this is a cat podcast,
We do.
and it's we haven't had episodes in a while because we've all been going through some stuff.
Yeah.
I've been going through some stuff. Michelle's been going through some stuff. Melissa, have you gone through anything?
A few little things. It's all good.
But Michelle tells me you're an animal person, so
Oh yeah.
tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Always grew up with cats. Loved cats. Had a variety of attitudes. Some Michelle will remember well because again we've been friends for a very long time. Scruffy in particular. And I was told I could swear he was an asshole. But we loved him. You walk in the door and he'd be on the couch and like want to attack you. And then subliminally, I think he was also trying to tell people, get out, because it was like that kind of meow.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was not a friendly cat.
No, he was a turd.
He was not a snuggler,
No.
not a petter.
No.
No.
But and then the most recent addition, my daughter Caitlin recently adopted a kitten, not super young, but around 9-10 months, from Kitten Angels locally here, and they're a wonderful organization. So, and we have 3 dogs right now. I know that doesn't fit the podcast, but
Well,
That's
but
fine.
they're chihuahuas, Dan. They're
So-
chihuahuas, so they're basically cats, just that bark.
Oh, so
Yeah.
the cat's gonna be in charge of them pretty soon.
Well, the cat lives in a different house, so the cat doesn't. She
Yeah.
lives in a different house.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
my daughter doesn't live home anymore. She just recently moved out to her own domicile.
Yep.
How are you doing with that?
horrible. I miss her terribly. It's good. It's good. I cried a lot at first. We're all very close, but I truly have to say that her cat is named Cersei, and Cersei has made a great deal of a difference on how she has made the transition to living alone, and also helpful for my husband and I, because Cersei is just amazing. Like, we get daily videos of someone got her a cat advent calendar.
Oh
So
God.
every day there's the opening of the advent calendar, Cersei's toy. So yeah, she's amazing. I'm very happy that Kate has her, and it has made it a lot easier, certainly.
When I moved out, I had my Tyler, so I understand that. It definitely made it easier for me to be like, see you guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So you're upstate New York?
Yeah, Albany. If you're familiar with Albany,
I went to SUNY Albany my first semester of college,
not terribly
30,
far from that. We live
30,
off of 155.
1991, and please forgive me. I found the campus so depressing. I moved back to
Oh,
Brooklyn
it's
after
very
one
depressing.
semester.
No, that campus
Yeah,
is very depressing.
uh,
There is nothing
nothing to forgive.
exciting about that campus at all.
Mm-mm.
It was just very gray and symmetrical. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
did I mention gray? It was just very
Yeah.
gray. Even on
Oh,
a
great.
even on a
Yeah.
sunny day, it was gray and
Yeah.
drab, and I felt like I was doing time.
Well, some of the buildings make it look that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
The town was cool. There was, big old houses or whatever. I liked the town. But every time I went back to my dorm, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm so depressed here. Nobody smiles. Nobody smiled. The whole time I was there, nobody smiled. I thought they all had like nerve damage or something. Nobody smiled at all.
Maybe.
They might. I mean, then again,
Uh,
it is like the higher the majority of like people from Long Island in SUNY colleges. So,
That's true.
because I guess they're still affordable, even a
yeah,
100 years later.
yeah, one of the few things that are still.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I want to say lower 20s. But if you stayed, well, half the time she was there, and then just also kind of Dan had the same feeling of, this is very gray, this is very gloomy, very depressing. So then she came home and commuted, so it's incredibly affordable at that point. But not, sorry, SUNY Albany.
No, it's not. It's not known for its glitz and glam.
No.
So you have the three chihuahuas.
Yes,
You
3 chihuahuas,
you have the
Gus and the Piper.
and she has the kitten.
Yeah, but we always
Uh,
had cats growing up.
so why not now? No, I'm not judging.
No, truthfully, now where we live, we're on 17 acres, and if we're also on a busy street that you wouldn't realize it, but if we leave the patio, leave the door open a lot, the cat would be gone.
The cat would probably be gone.
The cat would be gone.
The dogs wander, but they stay within the fence perimeter.
Yeah.
17 acres? What's an acre? I've never seen an acre in my life.
No, yeah. There's
Oh,
not
that's like
much.
land. You have like land and stuff? Do you farm?
Yeah,
Because isn't
yeah.
upstate is basically the South, isn't it?
Uh,
Everybody like leaves the door open and trusts everybody, and it's all
no,
Uh-uh.
no, really?
no, no,
Mm.
no.
It's not
Okay.
bad. It's definitely not bad. I won't broadcast what I do with my doors, but I don't ever feel unsafe here. I never feel unsafe here. Do things happen? Yeah. I mean, one time somebody stole something from Kohl's department store, whizzed by, and then the cops needed us for camera footage. Nothing to do with cats, but I mean, cats get the zoomies. The lady zoomed by,
Zoomed by.
tied that right in for you guys.
Well done. You're going to be a good third host for the show.
But just again, Melissa always had cats. So I've mentioned before, Dan, my cat Monday that I had for like 20 years. She was from a litter of a cat that Melissa had. So
Okay.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's always had cats up until very recently, really, just kind of this
I'd
property.
say here,
I think,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And how did you
But
two meet? How did you
We
two
met
meet?
in second grade at Van
Oh,
Corlear.
aw.
yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
parents moved from one side of Schenectady to the other mid year of second grade, and we met, and that's pretty much that's been the
Yeah. Lots of ups and
Inseparable.
downs. Lots of ups and downs. We've been through a
I
lot.
won't say inseparable. There was a year or two there when we weren't
Yeah.
talking to each other,
Yeah.
but
Short lived.
it was high school. We were teenage girls. It happens.
Yeah. I was not a teenage girl, but I understand.
Are you sure, Dan? Are you
I hung
sure?
around. We're not going to talk about that yet. That's for a future episode.
Different podcast.
Yeah, that's later in the third season. We're calling it Confessions.
Oh, can
No,
I be in on that too?
you could be on every episode. You could start interviewing some of the people that, if they ever get their freaking act together and, get on the show. One of the most difficult things about a podcast is scheduling, is getting people to, and this podcast is, we interview a lot of cat rescue people.
That's
So
awesome.
the cats always come first. So we were going to interview a second interview with her name's Kelly. She does professional. Her company is called Professional Pet Trackers, and all she does is find lost pets. She's like Columbo for lost pets.
Um,
And she asked to come on the show because she wanted to kind of dispel the myths about how to track a lost cat.
Mm.
And at the last minute, she said, "I'm sorry, I have to go track a lost cat that just came my way." So we can't say, well, we can't say anything. So we're going to try to record her when we're off Christmas week. And I actually said, if you have to go again, Michelle and I are going to follow you.
oh.
Because there was one story she told us where she had to crawl under a sewer under the Sunrise Highway on Long Island to
Oh wow!
find a lost cat because the cat had a tracker on him, and the
No
tracker
way.
said he was on Sunrise Highway, so she feared the worst. It turned out he went down the storm drain and he was in the sewers, like, Mutant Ninja Turtles or something.
Aw.
Uh, and she's like, "Oh shit, he's dead. Oh shit, he's dead. Wait a minute. It's moving. The tracker is moving. How could he be?" And then it occurred to her, and next thing you know, she's under the she literally, with the help of like highway patrol, she goes in there and finds him kind of huddled on the side while the water's running down. Uh, so
Well,
she's
thank
a
God
pisser.
someone
She's uh, but that happens all the time where we're about to record and at the last minute she gets a job,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna, like, well, don't go find somebody's lost cat because I need you on a podcast. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't
Get like the
exactly.
GoPro headlamp for you guys, or the GoPro on your heads, and you can follow her around. Kelly, yeah.
Well, what I said as a joke, we'll just follow you. She thought it was a great idea. She's like, "Yeah, I'd love that." I don't know if I'm going to crawl under a sewer. I don't know if I'd
I mean,
fit,
I'm
but
down. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to go into a sewer either, but I'll
we
climb
could
a
we
tree.
could like we could film her going into the sewer while we wait. Like, we'll direct traffic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't go
But
in the sewer again, because like I had said to Michelle, like Pennywise. Thank God Pennywise wasn't down there in the sewer.
and Stephen King fan. Okay, you're cool. We like you. We like you. So so what are your holiday plans? What are the holidays like in Albany?
Well, last night we had our work Christmas party. That was a hoot and a half, if not two hoots. And then we had the after party at our house on the patio that I was talking about. I still have to wrap presents, and let's see, there's parades. Santa stops by. Santa came yesterday. Yesterday was a great day, Dan. It's a great day.
See, you
Why
know
did
how, Dan, you know how every year, and I assume they do it where you are too, and but the fire department comes around with Santa on the back of the truck. Do they do
yeah,
that
it
in your
always
neighborhood?
always scares me when he goes he does that in my town and it always scares the crap out of me.
It scares the
Oh.
crap out of me every time.
Yeah, she doesn't come outside.
I don't. I don't. they not only go outside, all of them, the whole family. They put on um like Christmas and Santa clothes of some sort or another. They have signs. They wave. They.
It's a big deal. It's Santa.
It's Santa.
It's Santa.
The real Santa, no
Yeah.
less. I'm sure.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
sure
just
it's the real Santa.
down our street yesterday. But yeah, I made signs years ago. I think they'll need a refresh, Dan, because I've been working these signs for about 4 years now. But they just say thank you, Midway Fire Department. Big shout out, Midway. They're just awesome. And they do like Santa stops, and they'll talk to the kids and take pictures and whatnot. But it is for adults too. Let's not forget that point.
I remember the first one, not the first year, but like the first few years I was on Long Island. I lived in Copiague at the time. My cousin and her then boyfriend were out visiting. We had gone out the night before, and early in the morning, then I don't know if it was a Saturday or Sunday, that next morning, we started hearing sirens. And we're like, what the hell is that? Now they're from Brooklyn. I'm from upstate. And none of us were like, what is that? Why are the sirens? And it just lasted. It just went on and on to the point where we got in the car to go see where this emergency was. We're like, these sirens have been going on at least 5-10 minutes. What is going on? There's got to be something. Drove all over the town, couldn't find it, wound up going to get breakfast, come back to my house. As we got back to my house, the truck came down the street on my in my neighborhood, and we're like, what in the hell is
Scary if you don't know.
Because it used to not be an upstate thing. It was never a Schenectady thing. It never happened in Brooklyn with them. Did it happen in Brooklyn with you at all? Was that like a Brooklyn thing too, or just no?
No, you went to the mall for Santa when I was a kid.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So this was like the most. It was just so like we couldn't figure out what was going on, and then finally we see the Santa come down and like, oh my god, and then. Now, where I am in Central Islip, same thing. Like, it scares me every time because, like, I'll be in bed and all of a sudden it's early on a morning or whatever time it is by the time they come to the neighborhood and you start, it's always like you start hearing it. You can't see my hand. It's always like in the distance, like, a little siren off, like, and then it gets closer and closer. You're like, oh my God, I hope it's Santa because if that's not Santa,
it's the apocalypse.
Something big is going on.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, yeah, these guys jumped into it all.
Yeah. Yep.
So you did all your shopping, you have your tree and everything?
Shopping's done, trees up, all that. Yeah. Yeah. And then, typically it's ham dinner for Christmas, but I might do lasagna this year. We did that one year, and it's just something different.
We'll be over.
All right.
Michelle would have to pick me up, but we'll be there.
Everything Dan Michelle can attest.
She would not be. I mean, she'd be surprised if we just showed up, but she wouldn't. It would be fine.
Be lovely.
Yep.
Maybe we'll go live from Melissa's Christmas Christmas night dinner. That wouldn't be imposed. That wouldn't be imposing at all. But
No,
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, no. Our Christmas party, we have literally the UPS man comes. Our veterinarian is invited. It's just the more the merrier. It's a.
I love that.
They'll be in this. I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this, Dan. They met people in a supermarket one time. And they did I don't know if they don't still come but they came to the parties for multiple years. Just random people. They just casually met in a store.
Yeah. It's like the Thanksgiving
Come on
dinner.
to the holiday party.
with the guy who texted the wrong grandma.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're welcome. What are you doing?
I haven't been to Albany since 1991.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's not true. I was up there. Where was I? I used to be a museum exhibit designer. And in 2007, I worked at South Street Seaport.
Oh, wow.
And I think we were in Binghamton for a conference. and we took the train back and we stopped at Albany
Mm.
for like 20 minutes. But other than that, I haven't been up there literally in 33 years.
Wow.
Uh, this is my third Christmas as a bachelor. So I'll end up with friends or, friends or friends' family. I'm kind of like a nomad on Christmas.
I like that.
And
Mm.
I kind of prefer it to the chaos of my ex and her family and all the people. And they made a lot of cookies that had nuts in them, and I don't like baked goods with nuts in them. So there's a lot of stuff that smelled good, but I didn't want to eat because it's like, why the hell are there fucking walnuts in these cookies?
Walnuts ruin everything.
Well, yeah. When I was a kid, my grandmother baked the best banana bread in the world, but she always put nuts in them.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I love her, I miss her. But there was no part of can you make one without nuts for me that she didn't seem to be okay with. So there was a
Dan.
lot of, bake. I know, right? It's terrible. I've
Oh,
had a rough time. But
oh,
so
Dan. Come on up, Dan. I'll make you banana bread with no nuts.
you're just
We have
saying that because you're on the holiday episode, aren't you?
not
And
true.
big banana fans up here too, by the way.
Well, that's what's so
It's-
comical about it.
It's been like a running gag like this weekend about bananas.
Yeah.
I actually brought up, I always bring up
Mm.
some kind of cocktail to make.
Mm.
So this time around, I brought up what I'm calling a banana Nutella cookie dough surprise.
That's a drink.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a drink that I made up. So it's basically there's a cookie dough whiskey, right? It's super delicious, just on its own on ice.
Whoa! Cookie dough whiskey?
Cookie
That-
dough
that-
flavored.
This is a real thing.
It's 100% a real thing. There's a whole like trend of whiskeys lately that are sweet, that are like sweet flavored. It started with like a peanut butter whiskey like 5 or 6 years ago. There's cookie dough whiskey. Honey whiskey is a little bit different, but then if you
I
go to
would
like a
get in
liquor
a
store,
lot of trouble with cookie dough whiskey. I would have a problem.
Oh, Dan, so good.
but
Cookie
anyway,
dough
so
is
I
my
got this.
weakness. Go on. I'm sorry. I'm fascinated.
So I got this cookie dough whiskey and a banana flavored whiskey liqueur and and Nutella. Shake that all up. It's like a crepe in a cup. It is delicious.
F and A, man. It was so
It is delicious.
good.
So yesterday I made the
Cookie dough
cocktails and
whiskey. Wow.
I early on I had joked because they have a couple bananas on the counter. I'm like, oh good, I can use it as a garnish on the drinks later. Totally forgot. So her son's drinking one. He comes over. He's like, I really need to bring this back. I don't have a there's no banana garnish on here. So sorry.
Yeah.
We'll take it off your bill.
Take it off.
But,
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna retell this story. This was my first. Can you see that picture?
Nope.
Nope.
Never
It's
mind. All right. Never mind. I'll edit it in. My first cat, Tyler. Michelle knows this story. My first cat, Tyler, used to like vodka. So my first cat, actually December 9th was 24 years since I adopted my first cat. And he was a shelter cat from Little Shelter. And he liked vodka. He liked if you too much foam on a beer. He used to drink the foam before it went down. And he once got probably drunk off of the sauce in Bananas Foster.
Oh my God. That is a pal right there.
I was still the TLDR. I was still living at home, and my friend brought his girlfriend, who took it upon herself to make Bananas Foster. We didn't request it. I think that was the only thing she knew how to make. So she walks in with like a bag of 800 bananas and rum and a pound of like three tons of brown sugar, and she's making it in this big pot. And my Tyler, who's a tuxedo cat, he was a lovable asshole to like your cat you were describing. So I let him jump on the counter and on the kitchen table, and to this day all my cats go wherever they want. Um, so he jumped up on after it was done. It was sitting off on the side, we were talking, and next thing we know, he's has his face in the pot and he's drinking the sauce from the pot. Like he's going to town on this. And he had, I don't know how much he had, but he had a lot of it because he kind of jumped, like staggered off the counter and kind of like, he, I didn't see him for like 3 days because he passed the fuck out.
Oh my
I'm,
God.
I was actually kind of worried, like, is he going to be okay? He just pounded down, bananas Foster. Oh, it's rum and butter and, brown sugar. It's nothing. There's nothing bad. There's nothing poisonous for cats except rum.
Except the rum.
I think, and I remember I called my vet and I said,
Mhm.
"Don't kill me. He may have gotten himself into some bananas Foster." And the vet, I said, "Don't judge me. Is it bad? Is it poisonous?" He's like, "No, it's not poisonous." And what the fuck?
I can't imagine that call. I can't.
That's pretty funny.
I felt so judged. Like over the phone, I felt him like judging me. Like, I'm gonna seize your cat. You don't deserve to have him. But he was fine. He lived another 15 years. He was totally fine. But I had another cat that liked cheddar flavored mini rice cakes
Oh,
Oh.
that's
and
specific.
planters cheese balls.
I actually remember listening to one of the podcasts, and I think you were talking to somebody, and you mentioned the vodka, that the cat liked the vodka, and I remember chuckling about that. Did it become a problem in the future?
Like, did he have to go to meetings?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Thank you
yeah.
for clarifying.
CAA, Cat Alcoholics
Yeah,
Anonymous. It
yeah.
was.
And the
No,
vet's called CPA, Cat Protector, CPA, Cat Protective Service.
he tried anything. He shoved his face in
Oh my
anything. You had to
God.
really be careful. He used to also pee in my mother's plants because I still lived at home when I first adopted him. And my mother had these. So we had like a nice, I guess, a decent house. When we moved to, I grew up in Brooklyn. In case you didn't hear it in my nasal accent.
Thank you. Thank
But
you.
when we moved to Long Island, we had, I guess, a decent house. And my mother had these big trees, like big tree type. I don't know what it was. He used to pee in the pot of the plant. Like he had litter boxes. I kept them clean, but he's like, "Fuck you. I don't like your trees." And he used to pee in the trees.
Yeah.
So the vet said to get these little like white pebbles to put in the soil. And the theory was the first thing he said was citrus spray. You do that all the time. Cats don't like citrus, so if you get like citrus cleaning spray, it didn't affect them at all. He's like, I don't mind that. That smells nice. So then, so then he goes, get the white pebbles and put it in the soil, and they won't like the way that feels on their feet. He peed on the rocks. He peed on the pebbles. It didn't affect him at all.
Yeah.
So next thing
Wow.
we know, so then the white pebbles turned yellow from and eventually she just gave up. The trees died from being peed on all the time, and she just didn't have. She gave up. All her plants were like outside or hung up or something out of his reach.
Oh,
So he was just that kind of cat. He just didn't.
yeah.
He didn't. He did his own thing. He was lovable. I love him. He was. Nobody understood me better than that cat. No ex spouse girlfriend I've ever been with has ever understood me like my first cat. But if he wanted to do something, he was going to do it, and there's nothing you could do about it. If
Yeah.
I didn't give him enough attention, he would unplug the cable box in my living room. He knew how to turn off the surge protector. He knew to press the button, the switch on the surge protector, and he knew it would turn it off. Living room wall unit.
Oh
Next
my
thing I
God.
know, the TV goes out, and he waltzes out. He goes, "Well, now that that's off, you could play with me, asshole."
Oh my God. This
That's
is
funny.
like the picture of Chi Chi on the.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. She was, so my new little kitten is coming
Yes,
along
good
well.
segue. Good segue.
Yeah.
You're gonna have me back. I feel it.
Yeah, she was. I have all my cable boxes and modem and stuff are set up kind of underneath the TV stand I have, and one of them is on like this little like metal wire just to elevate it off the floor because they're like this big these days. Remote,
Yep.
modems and
Yeah.
routers or whatever. Can't leave that on the floor, so I have it on a little stand. And I go under there, and I wasn't even under there. I saw her crawl under the table, and I look under, and she's literally on top of the router, that's on top of this metal stand, just sitting there,
Keep it
like
warm.
Warm, yeah.
I can't imagine. It's this big. How much warmth is she getting from that? I don't know.
She's a little.
But she's little. That's true. But then she also, I have with the power strip thing. It's funny because I have on the other side of the room a lamp that's connected. The lighting in my house is very odd. I have a switch. Mostly, I have switches that connect to outlets to turn things on.
Okay.
Some overhead stuff, but it's just whatever. It's not, the overhead isn't connected to the switch. I have a remote for the overhead. Yeah, let it sink in.
That's all. Well, that's you're gonna have to draw that for me. That's strange.
So in my living room, when I first come in my house, there's a light panel that's there, a light switch panel, and the one switch takes care of the. You can't see my arm, but there's one switch takes care of the outlet. That's takes care of an outlet that's just behind the sofa. So I have a power strip plugged in back there and a lamp in the power strip so that when I come in and I flip that switch, I'm turning a light on, but it's because it's plugged into the power strip. Right? Yeah, whatever.
I think you need to move.
You think, yeah, maybe. Sure, no problem.
Find a house with regular light switches.
Yeah. But so the other day, I'm like, why? I'm flipping the switch. I'm like, why is the light not coming on? Maybe the bulbs are gone. Maybe the bulbs are bad. Maybe because it has little strings. The lamp itself has little strings for the lights. No, strings are fine. I don't know. And bulbs are fine. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Well, the little bitch must have stepped on the actual power strip because it was just a simple one where like some of them are a little bit more like you have to push and slide or whatever. But this is just like a poof. I'm like, did she weigh enough? I don't even think she weighs enough to like put pressure, but clearly she did because yeah. And Delilah the fatso, she's not getting back there. So.
But let's back up a minute. So since we recorded our last episode, you have a new addition.
I do. I have a little Manchichi. She's so adorable. Some former colleagues found her in a parking lot in the wheel hub of a car. Tiny, teensy tiny. She was literally less than 3 pounds when we found her. But they rescued her from the wheel hub. She actually had gotten into the engine compartment of the car, but luckily the guy whose car it was there. They were able to get her out, safe and sound. So they had been reaching out to shelters and, all sorts of places, and nobody wanted to take it. Nobody wanted to take her. And so my one friend, Donna, knows how involved I am with cats and whatever. I was actually originally going to get a cat from her earlier in the year, but that just didn't work out. And so she reached out and she's like, Michelle, do you know where we could bring this thing, where we could? And I'm like, I could take it. So they wound up, I wound up getting the cat. I took her to the vet that night. She did not look good. She did not look good. Like I said, she was super, super tiny. You could tell she was very malnourished, very frail, just adorable and frail. Eyes closed.
And you were head over heels at that point.
I was immediately. And so we're driving to, and I took her, it was like late in the evening. So my regular vet wasn't open. I took her to a 24-hour vet. We gave her a full assessment. And the first, the once over that they were able to give, she was ridden with fleas. She was malnourished. So they gave her, flea treatment, a flea bath. They gave her, like an injection of some sort. A couple of different treatments that they gave her that night. But in general, she seemed to be like in good health, other than like these, kind of treatable things. So then a couple of days later, I brought her to my real vet, gave her, a more thorough looking over. And again, she seemed to be fine. She had some worms, which we treated the fleas. she had a very distended belly. She was super bloated. So they actually thought at one point that it could be something called FIP. Are you familiar with that, Dan?
Yeah, my Frank, one of my colony cats, passed away from it, and that
Yeah.
was the exact thing. He had a very, all of a sudden, a very distended belly. I have a distended belly, so I may have
You
FIP.
may have it. You may. We I
Ooh,
think we all may have it.
I definitely have it, but
I don't remember what
good
it stands.
prognosis.
Do you remember what it stands for?
It's
No,
parvovirus.
but it's usually she's lucky because it's usually fatal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
from what
Well,
I
and that was the
understand.
thing. That's what the vet was telling me. She's like, I'm nervous that it might be this, and if it is, we really can't treat it. There's nothing for it, unfortunately. Um, but she had also told me that apparently there is some sort of black market affiliation that was getting medication from overseas somewhere that treats this. That I guess is just not approved in the U.S. for whatever reason. She said, but they were disbanded. So I was like, okay. But so now I have the whole weekend to think about, this poor little kitty. And I'm like, I'm already in love with this cat. I'm like, it would be so tragic. She's so adorable. And I did a little Googling. I did kind of see some information out there, but I didn't really go down the rabbit hole too. Oops. Oh, he's gone again.
No.
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
And
There
he's
you are.
back.
You disappeared for a second, Dan, and we didn't know if you lost the connection.
It's typical for our show. We always lose the connection at least once an episode. It wouldn't be our podcast otherwise.
But so anyway, Monday morning she called me as early as she got the results back, and it was negative. She did not have it. So thank God. So she really,
Yeah.
so she really doesn't have anything that isn't like treatable. So the worms and the other parasites we dealt with, she's been on all kinds of medications for those things. Those cleared out of her system. She's on a special kitten gastrointestinal food that the bloating has really gone down.
So what was the bloating caused by, if not?
Just malnourishment, I guess. Just
Okay.
not really. It could have been from the parasites also. But as though
She looks so much better now, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she looks
Yeah.
so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. And she was found alone.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the assessment too, also the vet thinks because she's actually got her adult teeth that are growing in. So she's got to be at least, what'd she say, 16 weeks, but that was about a month ago. So, I kind of put her at maybe June or July birth. But I think that and as tiny as she was, I can only assume that she must have been the runt and she probably got left behind because she was so super tiny for being, 4 months, 5 months old, possibly. I've never seen a cat that tiny at that age.
She looked like 6 weeks old, like
Barely.
taken away from mom
Yeah.
too young.
Yeah.
She was so tiny. It just
That-
so
that-
heartbreaking.
I think
looking.
you might be right. She may have been just gotten left behind, or
Yeah, I think so. I really
they
think
do
so.
that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The
I have to
mother
say
cat.
kudos to this one because seriously, the separation with Delilah and Manchichi,
Oh.
she followed that to a T, and just the integration and the special food for Manchichi, and then
Oh my God.
Delilah's food, and then time alone with Manchichi because she had to be, in a separate area. So it was playing with her, playing with Delilah, making sure that everybody was getting loved and fed and taken care of, medicated, what have you. It's been awesome for me to see her. She's doing so good though, because I'll tell you now because we know the outcome's good. When I first saw the pictures of her, Dan, I was like, oh my God, I was so afraid that you were going to get your heart broken.
So was
looked
I.
bad.
I felt the exact same way. I was very worried.
Yeah.
I was very worried. And you have a future in cat introduction behavior therapy.
But I have to tell you, I think it's. I mean, I won't not take any credit, but I think it's also the cats themselves, their own temperaments. Because Delilah is a pretty chill cat. Like she's always been, even when we had Legs, it was always Legs who was the jealous one. She was just kind of was like doop de doop. All right, I'll go over here. I'll do what I have to do. so I just had a feeling that she was going to be okay with the kitten eventually. I knew there'd be like, adjustment, but I just had a feeling that she'd be okay eventually. And this kitten, the temperament that this kitten has, it's just it's the cutest, sweetest little thing. Like she's a little skittish, but she's not fearful. She goes up to Delilah, and she bats at her, and she wants to play with her, and Delilah just is like,
Yeah.
what is going on? And then she'll look at me like, what is this thing?
It's so true. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, I'm here.
You keep disappearing.
He's keeping it fresh, Michelle.
Yeah.
All right,
Keep us
hold
on
on one
our toes.
second.
Yep.
We'll be right back in one more. Okay. Um, I think you lucked out with Delilah is 15.
She's about that. We're not really sure. I think when I got her, because she was an older cat when I got her, and the assessment was maybe 8 to 10 when I got her, and I've had her for 5 years, maybe. I'd have to look at the calendar to see when I got her, but I've had her for like 5 years. So we think 12 to 15, maybe a little bit older. It's hard to tell.
It's the best thing about cats is I adopted my first. I went to a shelter. My second, Tiger, the one who liked cheese doodles. He was from a shelter. Tucker was from a shelter, but the rest of them, they kind of found their way to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sophie was a Craigslist cat. The rest of mine have been foster fails, or Penelope I took in off the streets last year. So like Munchie, you didn't go and look. It's just like the stars aligned,
Yeah.
the heavens opened up, and this cat happened
Yeah.
to go into this wheel well at this particular time that your coworkers happened to notice,
Yeah.
and the driver of the vehicle didn't do anything that would
Yeah.
cause me to go
No,
after him with a baseball bat.
yeah.
It just all worked out. And
Yeah.
Delilah is cool with it because I always think older with kittens is a very good match.
I think that's also part of it. So if I had brought in another grown cat, it might have been a different situation because now you've got territory. Whereas when it's like you're saying, when it's a mature cat with a kitten, there's like that maternal kind of thing. And Delilah is a female too. So you have that like maternal, thing that kicks in, and or big brother or big sister, whatever it is, but like that sort of nurturing, protector kind of thing.
Look at Legs and Delilah. That wasn't.
No, they took a while. It was
not
at least
easy.
that was at least 6 months before they settled into each other.
Yeah. So yeah, the kitten and older.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And when I
No, and I was
got
supposed to also Dan about a month before, maybe it was a month before Manchichi came into existence. Basically, I was also supposed to. I had put my name in the hat to get 2 cats from a friend of mine whose a stepmother had passed away, and she had these 2 beautiful black, solid white cats. Oh my god, just absolutely gorgeous. And I went through all the paperwork and everything, and I was supposed to get them, but then another family member stepped up and decided to take them, so I wound up not getting those cats. And then a couple of weeks later, here's Manchichi. So, and if I had taken those cats, I don't think I'd be able to take her, because it just, introduced to that. Then now you want to talk about drama. Introduce 2 grown cats to an existing grown cat, and now introduce a sickly kitten cat. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I like that.
Kitten into the situation.
A puppy dog.
Yeah.
Puppy dog. It could be a kitten cat.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for a Kit Kat now from that. But anyway.
Gave away a giant Kit Kat last night.
You did.
Anywho.
I'm sorry. You gave it away. Can you get it back? If we're coming for Christmas, can you get it back somehow?
I'll just get another one for you, Dan.
They do at the holiday party that they have. They do these raffles where they have dozens, if not like 100 different things that they just raffle off. And every year there's always like giant candy of some sort. So yesterday was a giant Kit Kat
Mhm.
3 feet long,
Yeah,
something like
probably
that.
about 3 feet.
And a giant Reese's peanut butter thing, also 3 feet long.
Yeah.
I want that with the whiskey, with the cookie dough whiskey that you're.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That
Well, I mean,
sounds
You're in, Dan. You're in.
they make peanut butter whiskey. Just let you know.
all right. Is that bus depot still there? I used to take Adirondack Trailways every weekend from SUNY Albany. Is that little
Oh,
is that little gross bus depot still there?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
From
definitely.
lovely Port Authority bus terminal in Manhattan
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It was like this little like hole in the wall bus terminal. I remember it was like a tiny little room and this like awning, and you got on the bus and you went home, and uh I had my Sony Walkman with a cassette tape. That's what I remember.
Oh,
Long time ago. But it was meant to be. You were meant to have her. It was meant
Yeah.
to just, these things just happen through cosmic means and fate.
Yeah.
And you don't plan it. Those are the best cats.
Yeah.
Um, did you adopt your dogs, your hot dog dogs? Did you adopt them as puppies? How did you come about having three Chihuahuas?
well, adopt not 100%. However, I still feel that they were rescued. So this politically correct here. So two of the
No
Chihuahuas
need, no need,
are
no need.
uh, so two Chihuahuas. Two of them are 100% full on black Chihuahuas. Not, believe it or not, a desirable color for Chihuahuas.
Okay.
Who knows?
I've never seen one.
So Gus, he's 14 years old now, and we got him
Wow.
when he was about 9 months old, and he did come from a pet store, and they had him marked down significantly because he needed to either be purchased or he'd be going God knows where.
Because of his
And
age?
because he being a black Chihuahua, everybody wanted the tricolor, like the cream or the tan or
Okay,
more
yeah.
colors than just black. So we were, I don't even know what mall it was, but we were at the mall, and we've always loved animals. And again, cats, dogs. Well, we had birds at one point too. We've also got fish, but anywho, so a turtle.
Chickens.
Chickens at a point. So anyhow, so Gus, we named Gus. He was just this shivery, shy little guy, and we weren't looking for a dog or anything like that. It was just walking in a mall, walking in one of the terrible stores. But we did bring Gus home for $500. But
That's the markdown
That's
price?
the
that was the
mark.
markdown.
Wow.
Yeah, but you can't as of I think it's today. Today is the last day. I'm very happy to say no
I was
more.
literally about to say that. That will
Yeah,
be illegal. You can't do that
yeah,
anymore.
no more of that. And it is a good
Thank
thing.
God.
It is a good thing. If I knew then what I know now, I don't step foot in the stores anymore because of what I know now. But anyhow, so Gus, he's very well taken care of. He's 14. He's minus some teeth. He's had some extractions. He's a grumpy old man, but he deserves to be. He's king of the castle, Dan.
He's been
It's
he's
all
been through
about
some
Gus.
shit before you adopted him.
All
He
about Gus.
he lived in a mall.
Yeah. So, but Willie, we had an Australian Shepherd, Willie, that I have to mention,
It's
and
beautiful.
he was with us for 13 and a half years. And Australian Shepherds, bigger dogs, loyal to beat the band, herders of the kids, so smart. He'd stand at the end or sit at the end of the driveway when the kids would get on the bus, wait for them to get off the bus, just a love bug.
Mm-hmm.
He was a
Oh,
leaner.
Yeah.
He'd lean against your leg, lay on your feet.
So sweet.
He was fantastic. But yeah. So
did he know Gus?
What's that?
Did
Sorry.
he know Gus?
Yes. Yeah. Him and Gus got along. Yeah. He would.
Even though they were like,
Yeah. Michelle, I don't know if you remember watching it at times, but he would clean Gus's ears. He would just you at times go to pick up Gus, and his ears would be all wet, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, Willie was just just the outside, not the inside. But he would take care of them. I have the cutest little magnet that I got done, and it's Gus and Willie laying next to each other. They were pals.
Yeah.
They were pals
Oh,
for sure. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, Aussies are very gentle, very gentle dogs. But yeah, that's why also like with Cersei, with Kate's cat, it was very important for us to find somewhere to adopt, and we chose Kitten Angels through PetSmart. We went to the Amsterdam one, and I'd like to locally give them a shout out. I love to donate to them because their fosters really take the time with the cats, and in their bios it's so specific so that they're making sure these cats are going to go to the right home. And I feel that's kudos to them, to all these fosters that are just giving their hearts and their time, and to then have to say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Fostering isn't easy, Dan, is it?
no, I've,
Which leads
well,
us into another segue.
I am the world's worst foster. I failed 3 times. Mona, who's now the queen since Sophie passed. Uh, Taylor, who's my old man. I got him at 13 last year from animal control. And
Oh,
he may be as old as 16 if you go by Stephen Quant,
Mm.
who sent me his records. He is he's a 15-year-old kitten. But I got him from animal control with 2 hours to spare. Animal control in Manhattan, like the worst. They're like Sing Sing for animals. I mean, they do a good job, but they have such a high kill
yeah,
rate because they're so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So this isn't like anti-animal control. It's just they have a high euthanasia rate because they're literally overwhelmed with animals because there's so many. The homeless cat in the 5 boroughs of New York is the homeless cat crisis is literally like a crisis
Mm.
of epidemic proportions. So they unfortunately have a very quick, evaluation process to if the cat shows no signs of being adoptable. And Taylor, his owner died. He lost his home. He was kicked out of his building, like, not because he was behind on rent, but his super just didn't like cats and kicked him. Or maybe they were behind on rent. I've asked him, he won't tell me. But so he had shut down. He had shut down.
oh,
Uh,
Yeah.
but he had such a cute face. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll try to foster him. But my cats took him in so quickly, and became like brothers. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to adopt a 13-year-old cat because I can't conceivably do that to him, let him go. And he's happy here. And the first night he cried all night. I sat with him. He cried and cried and cried because he didn't know where he was. He was very confused. By the end of the week, they're running around and playing, and he's playing so much harder than my younger cats. They're looking at him like, dude, slow down. He's playing and chirping, and he's so happy. And I work from home. So he's sitting on the desk with me. So I'm like, you're not getting him back. I'm keeping him. Uh, and Penelope was a stray that used to show up at my door.
oh,
So she wasn't a foster, but she showed up Thanksgiving last year. She had a turkey bone stuck in her mouth.
Yeah.
So finally, I was able to trap her, get her treated, and I took her in. And she basically lives under my bed in my bedroom because she's very skittish. And she's starting to hang out with me more as I work, and she's starting to come out of her shell. She's very skittish. She's been through some shit also. And I have Rosie, who technically is still a foster, but she hates me. I think because I'm a man. She hates men. She's terrified of men. So she's a little gray tabby.
oh,
She's like 3 years old. She was found in Lynbrook, which is a little south of me. She was found with her kittens, and she'd been through a couple of foster homes. She's happy here. The cats love her. She sees me and she's like, "Ah," and she runs under the bed. So she's a foster fail because
Yeah.
I can't get through to her.
Yeah.
She's let me
Right.
pet her a couple of times, and then like she'll come out of it. She's like, "You're a man," and then she runs under the bed. I don't know. Somebody did something to her
I'm
when
sure.
she was a street cat,
Yeah.
and obviously a dude did something because, and she doesn't like. I'm 6 feet tall. She doesn't like tall male people, Jews from Brooklyn. I don't know what it is. She doesn't like me.
Right. It's a very
Specific.
specific hate she has, Dan.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
tall.
know. I don't know if it's an
If I
ethnic
could,
thing or
I'd love to know, could you just try this once? Get a wig, a long, maybe blonde hair or brunette if you prefer, and just see if Rosie treats you differently.
I could have Michelle try.
Or that, I mean,
Why are you trying to
no,
get
oddly
her?
enough,
Why?
you got the wrong blonde hair.
So here on the Shelter Cats podcast, Melissa's method for trying to get through to a foster cat is for me to become a cross-dresser.
Right. Well,
And
Just one
suddenly
time.
like, I'm not taking off this week ever. I love it.
maybe
But it's
both of
supposed
you will like it. I don't
Who
know. You
knows?
don't
This is judgment free here.
know.
I'll try it. I mean, they're going to look at me when I go to buy the wig. Why are you buying this wig? It's for a cat. It's for a cat. I'm going to call the
Just
cops
wait
on
till
you if you don't get
October
the
or
fuck out of here.
Amazon. Amazon.
Even they'd be like, we can't complete this order. Uh, well, maybe one day, Michelle, if you don't mind, I'll introduce you to and see if I won't say. She's here to stay. She's she's adorable. She's cute.
That's
She's this little
amazing of you, though,
she's a
Dan, for
tiny
real.
little cat. She just she I gave her a cat bed and she dragged it under the bed and she won't even eat. She'll like there are dry food bowls and water fountains, and she'll come out into the living room and sometimes she'll watch me work in my office, but she won't eat her wet food. She has to have it under the bed.
Mm,
She'll take the bowl under the bed and eat it
that's
under the
funny.
bed. And when she's done with it, she'll push the bowl out from under the bed because she knows I'll wash her bowl. So she literally like it's like she's in prison. Like she pushes it through a slot. So I
It
know when
sounds.
she's
I'm thinking about like when we had the conversation with Steven about how they're protective about the food. Like, I wonder if she came from a
Ooh,
situation where she had to fight for her food every time,
yeah.
where maybe there were bigger cats or stronger cats, whatever it was, that just got the food, and she would never got the food prior. Like, just the fact that she brings it
yeah,
under the bed and she eats in private, where it's that's like a protective.
Interesting.
she's
You're not trying to eat her food, are you, Dan? I mean, that's not why she's mad at
Oh,
you, is it?
no,
Michelle.
on toast or a bagel in a pinch. If you don't have
Yeah,
tuna, it's
okay.
not bad.
Yeah. I mean, especially the
No,
pate. That's
Oh,
really that works
the
out.
the pate, yeah, it's not bad. Uh, whatever she
that
was,
wonderful smell when you open the
It sure
can.
does. Sure does.
um, whatever it was, she went through something very traumatic before she came to me. Um, and I'm her second or third foster. So
Mm,
she came to me from a foster who couldn't keep her anymore. So I don't know what. And that
right.
foster said to me, "You're going to have to force affection on her.
Oh,
you're going to have to pick her up, and you're going to have to force it on her."
okay.
But she's so fast. Every time I try to approach her, she's like runs under the bed.
Right.
Um, but she's not tense when she's out and she sees me. It's just if I come within like the zone. So she's here to stay. Like I haven't adopted her, but she's not going anywhere because I've told,
Right. Right.
and they're the same rescue that helped me with Taylor, the death row rescue. I said she's not adoptable. Not all of them are adoptable. Some of
Right.
them just are not adoptable. I said the only home she'd be good in is somebody who wants absolutely no interaction with a cat. If they just want to provide a space for a cat to live in, but they want no interaction whatsoever, she's the
Right.
perfect cat because she wants nothing to do with me. Uh, I mean,
Mouse.
when I feed her, she watches me put the food in the bowl, but the rest of the time, she's like, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!"
Women.
Uh,
Yeah.
Am I right?
why do you, why do you think I'm a single at 51? But anyway, this has been awesome. We've been recording for an hour.
I'm
Melissa,
glad
you're
you're. Yep.
uh, if I may put you on the spot, Melissa, feel free to invite that rescue. Your daughter got the kitten. Feel free to invite them on the show if you want.
Oh, I will. I will actually let them know. I will definitely let them know. Yeah, they're wonderful, kitten
We'd love
angels.
we'd love to have them. I recorded a quick episode yesterday. Just we had planned all these episodes, but Taylor was sick in September, and then Sophie, who was the boss of the house, she had cancer in October and passed away in early November. So life has kind of gotten in the way of the podcast. And shout out to Michelle. Michelle was there with me on the day Sophie crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
You volunteered. I'll never be able to thank you enough for that. So I'm doing that on the show on our 50th episode. We finally got there.
Well, you're welcome.
I could not have gotten through that day without you, truly. Thank you for doing that. You did not have to do that, and you did. And I know you just went through that with legs in May.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
when we've all lost animals in our lives. It's a shitty experience. You're never
It,
prepared, you're never ready for it. So, Michelle, I'll never be able to say thank you enough.
well, it was a
So
very privilege and honor to be there with you, and I'm glad that we were able to make it a little bit easier for you.
you did. And again, shout out to Garden City Park Animal Hospital. They made it as beautiful an experience as humanly possible, I guess, because they
Mm-hmm.
gave me the clipping of her fur.
That's a
They
new
did
thing.
a
Have you seen that? I didn't. I never even heard of the clipping thing before. And she did that. And she gave him because Sophie was we call it's a calico, right? We call her
yeah,
calico.
like a calico and white.
Yeah. So she had like a couple of different spots that had different patterns of fur. So the vet actually clipped off in two different spots to get a real representation of what her actual fur was. I never saw that part before. I didn't. That wasn't
That's
something I'd
beautiful.
seen. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a paw print thing.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
took her paw and it took like 3 weeks to dry. It kept, it's finally like permanent.
Yeah.
They sent me a beautiful card. The online pet company, they sent me flowers.
I
Literally the
just saw
first,
I just saw some like a Facebook post or something on that just today from somebody else. I don't remember who, but they were like, "Oh, saying big shout out to Chewy." That I
Mhm.
guess they had a prescription through Chewy, and they let them know that the animal passed, and then Chewy sent them flowers and a card,
That's
that's
so
super
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
That's super
they do
nice.
that all the time, and
Yeah.
it's an awesome thing. And side note, the first time I'd ever been sent flowers in my 51 years ever.
Aww.
Oh.
And they're really nice, and I have the vase, which will be good for beer. But anyway, uh,
Or
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 the hell with. But listen, if we come up for Christmas, we expect this. We expect this cookie dough whiskey.
yeah.
Can I have mine without the Nutella? I'm not big on Nutella. Will that work without Nutella?
I'll take yours.
Sure.
I'll take yours.
Can I just have
It's,
like chocolate in mine without the Nutella or something?
can I throw some walnuts in there for you?
Can you
I'll get a Kit Kat bar. I'll get a 3-foot Kit Kat bar. It's a 40.
Melissa,
It's a
I'm moving up to Albany. But guys, I would not want to ring in the holidays without anyone else. So thank you. Melissa, you're an honorary co-host. You could be back on anytime.
Thank you.
This
This was great. This was great. It's so much.
She was so excited to be part of this.
I mean, what?
Y- You're awesome.
Yeah.
It
I
feels
told
like
you
you.
from the beginning, like when you first invited me to be on, I came up and I was having them listen to the episode. We all sitting around listening to the episode together, me, her husband, and the kids. And the two of them were like, oh my God, he's so funny. You guys have such charisma together, such, chemistry and blah, blah, blah together. And so like from the beginning, these two have
Oh,
been,
yeah.
big fans.
Yep.
Well, I was introduced to Michelle by, she's written a book about a cat that farts.
Yeah, I thankfully have a copy or two.
So do I. That you should have her on. She's written the farty feline. That's all I needed to hear. I'm like, I want her on yesterday,
Bingo.
and, and she laughs at my bad jokes, and we did have amazing chemistry.
Oh, without a doubt.
So I'm like, it's a no-brainer. And you know, you deal with my haphazard recording schedule and wacky city editing and just the weirdness of the podcast, which has somehow resonated with 200,000 people on Spotify.
Fantastic.
So
So
awesome.
somebody likes it. So uh, a happy holidays to you both.
Thank you.
Thank
Same to you.
You know,
Dan.
who knows? You may see us on Christmas Day. Um, and I'm not driving, so I can have as much of that whiskey as I want. Sorry, Michelle. And we'll definitely do
Story of
this
my
again.
life.
So, this is the last episode of the year. So and our 50th podcast. So congrats to us for making
Positively
it.
the best.
Oh.
And happy
Did that ruin
holidays.
it?
Wait, I didn't hear what you said. I was rambling.
I said positively the best. And then she just bowed her head and I said, did I ruin it? I just ruined it.
Michelle, you are the queen of those puns.
I
So
love those puns.
you do that
I
all the
love
time.
those puns.
I'm like, Michelle, are you available to record with so and so? You're like, positively, or
It's perfect. That's a meowsing.
yeah, that one. That was I think when we recorded with Richard Quanten, the behavior therapist, the 48th episode, it was like our
Stephen.
most professional. What did I say? Stephen Quanten. His, I'm so sorry, Stephen. Stephen wants to come back, and I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't listen to this episode. Stephen Quanten. What did I? That's his twin brother, Richard.
Mhm.
As soon as we were done, it went so well. And I think the first thing you said was it was a meow thing or something like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you,
Thank you.
Michelle.
Happy holidays. And thank you so much for being on our 50th episode. It really means a lot to us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. We're trying.
You are.
Okay.
Right.
And Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
holidays.
Dan.
Merry
Happy holidays.
Christmas.
Happy birthmas.